Okay, so what we're doing now is we're going to drop food coloring in 5 bowls of water at 5 different temperatures. So 37 degrees, which is ice water, 58 degrees, which is tap water, 104 degrees, which is hot water from the tap, 130, which is hot water plus a little water from a tea kettle, and 186 degrees. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the timer. My delightful assistants, May and Julian, will each drop water in 2. So I'm going to start the timer, then I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, ready?
3 drops, right?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay. So we're seeing some real differences in how it's spreading. What's going on is the dye is doing something called diffusion. And so the particles of color are spreading out in the molecules of water. And what we're trying to see is at what point is it completely mixed. If we look at that 186 degrees, it's all pink now. And if we look at 130 degrees, it's not as far, but it is more mixed than 104. If we look at 58, so the hottest has been, there hasn't been any plain water in the hot one for a good while. But there still is kind of a dark spot. I wonder if my head's been getting in the video. If you look at the 130, you can really see the blue moving around. Do you see movement in 104?
Not so much. A little bit.
It's
I wonder if this would have been clearer with, I think, with a little less dye. Because I'm looking at 37, and it's not moving much.
It's just like on the bottom.
Yeah. And that's hard to see from the top.
Mm-hmm.
I think with all the same color dye, it would be easier to see the differences too.
Yeah. Oh, wow. This 130 is doing some interesting stuff. The shape of that really dark part in the middle has changed a bunch. It's like there was a circle that closed up.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say, I don't know when it happened, but that 186 degree water is just completely even.
Mm-hmm.
And the 130 has just a tiny little bit, well, there's blue tinted all the way through all of that water now, even though there's this one spot that's very much more concentrated. So the ideal thing would be to not show this video, but to just have students do this.
Yeah.
But depending on what works tomorrow, I'll either show them a video. The video that I made last year just has 186 and ice water. You know, it just has teapot and ice. And that, you know, and I did that myself, and I think I was just really stingy with food coloring. And so it was just a lot easier to see.
Is that plain water that you're drinking there?
It's seltzer. I think the bubbles disperse the blue quicker because it's faster than.
Okay, so do you guys know why it diffuses faster in hot water?
Because the molecules are moving faster.
Yeah. And that's going to be the big point. And the other thing, well, there are two big points. First of all, it's the heat that makes them diffuse. The second thing is that diffusion tends to get it all the way even. Right? We sit here all day, and it's not going to go back to high concentration and low concentration. And that's very important to biology. For instance, when you breathe air in, the concentration of oxygen in the air is higher than the concentration of the oxygen in your blood that's coming from your heart. And so the concentration evens out. Oxygen diffuses into your blood. So you get about half of the oxygen that's in the air because half stays in the air and half goes into your blood for balance. And thank you. And the other important thing to life as far as that goes is we don't use energy to move those molecules of oxygen. It's the heat in the air and the heat in our blood that makes the oxygen move.
Is heat just movement?
Yep. That's the definition of heat. It's the random movement of molecules. And as you think about going from frozen to liquid to gas, that continues to make sense because when it's frozen, they're not moving much. They're vibrating, but they're staying in contact with the same molecules. And then when it's liquid, they're sliding along each other. And then when it's gas, they're completely free of each other. And the more free they are, the faster they're moving. So it's interesting. You know, I was kind of wondering if we could go nuts with this and like make a graph. But I think there's too much judgment involved.
Also, when you have different colors, your eye, you see them differently.
Yeah.
It looks cool to have the multicolored bowls though.
Yeah. I don't know when to call this. Definitely not going to want kids to watch 10 minutes of video.
Well, do you want to just keep filming and speed it up, or?
Yeah, that's a possibility. Yeah, I think now they're kind of getting. Yeah. See, if you
Yeah, the green
If
one,
you
you can see
look-
it from the side.
yeah, it's just sitting on the bottom, and we can't really see that from the video.
Well, yeah, you should take a picture of it at least afterwards.
I think maybe I'll just go down here. If we look at this 130, we can see that that's all the way through. And we look at the 58, we can see that it's mostly clear and it's just sitting on the bottom. If we look at 104, that's pink all the way through. So we are. Yeah. Well, that's enough.